Tarot is supposed to absolutely drip with magic. It brings magical images into your life, helping you live the mystery every single day. But for most people, tarot isn't like this. Why? Because they get tarot entirely wrong. In fact, most guides to tarot, whether it's a book or a video on YouTube like this one, these are getting the center of tarot completely, entirely wrong. Most of this stems from trying to make tarot fit a normal worldview. So you'll hear things about psychology and archetypes and intuition. While these can certainly help broaden your perspective about what we're doing when we're throwing down cards, it will absolutely ruin your connection to the mystery. So I've put together 3 simple but very, very powerful practices that will rejuvenate your tarot. Or if you're learning tarot for the first time, this is going to get you on the right track right away. All right, practice number 1, read tarot at night for the day that just happened. This seems really easy, like weirdly simple, but it totally revolutionized my relationship to the cards and to the oracle. If I had to learn tarot from scratch all over again, I think I would do it this way. So what exactly do you do? It's very simple. At the end of the day, you pull a card, maybe 2 cards, but you're not using them to tell the future or to get insight about something that might happen or a decision you want to make. Instead, you use the cards to describe the day you just had. It allows you to look through what just happened through a magical lens. There's really no better way to get a feel for the language of the oracle, the way that it speaks in your life. It also totally gets rid of all of the issues that tarot readers have navigating their own stuff around optimism, pessimism, fear, and greed. If you're really new to tarot, you can combine this with your little white book. That's the tiny guide that comes with every deck of cards. They're rarely worth the paper that they're printed on, but they can help as training wheels as you're getting started. Obviously, my recommendation would be to get rid of that thing as soon as you can and start building a personal connection to every card. But I know a lot of people really, really like the little white book. So, who am I? I think reading at the end of the day is a really special way to invert the way that we're looking at how oracles talk to us. Oracles remind us of all the magical threads that are running through our lives. Every single mundane happening in your day has connections to incredibly profound spiritual truths. Every text, every stub toe, every time you take your dog for a walk, it's part of a machine that is so unimaginably big and cosmic, yet so intangibly private and up close to your heartbeat. And this one simple tool, I feel like a salesman, one simple trick, and you can sort of relax. That relaxation is key. When I was first starting with tarot and before I really got my sea legs, I had a lot of anxiety about telling the future correctly. I wanted to get it right. What you realize when you're reading cards for the day that just happened, you don't have to get anything right. You don't have to predict anything. Your job is to see how these magical images reflect, relate, and expand your understanding of your life. Once you get a feel for that language, then you can turn to all points in time from the deep, deep past that you might want to know about, things that happened before you were born or while you weren't around, and then into the future, even the far, far future. We're just gonna have to have a video on time magic or like 100. All right, number 2. This is really, really good stuff. And it's simply move beyond spreads. Tarot card spreads give you tools to start reading the cards, because in a spread you place each card in a specific layout and every single card gets a job. So for instance, a simple 3-card spread, this card on the left is the past, this card in the center is the present, this card on the right is the future. And these are fine, you know, they're all right. They work, and they really work if you're kind of running low on calories in the brain and you just want answers to things. That is, until you run into some of these spreads, which are just way too big. A lot of beginners start on the Celtic Cross. This is a super popular 10-card spread. Now, I'm about to teach you a way of reading cards that might involve way more than 10 cards, but when you give 10 cards specific jobs, trying to juggle that system's flow in your mind is just, it's extraordinarily intellectually burdensome. It's like literally trying to plot out how a small business operates in a single sitting just to find out if, you know, he has a crush on you. There are many, many other ways to read beyond spreads, and I'm going to tell you 2 of them right now. The first one is reading in tableau. You can begin by having 3 rows of 3 cards. So that'll be a total of 9 cards. You might also pick an extra one to be the significator. This one doesn't have to be picked at random. It can just be the card you have hanging out beside your tableau to represent you or the person you're reading for. In tableau, the cards begin to look at each other. This is especially true in like the Tarot de Marseille deck, which has a lot of eye lines, but also a lot of pictorial decks have this element to them. Even if cards aren't directly looking at each other, they certainly refer to each other through things like number relationships, images, colors. To read a tableau, you simply stroll through the cards. There's no wrong place to start, there's no wrong place to end. You can return to cards along the way. What's key here is that you use way less of your left brain and way more listening. You listen to which card is talking to you at this moment. You'll know because your eyes will be drawn to it. This listening, this ability to get a sensitivity to how you are being pulled to the cards and how the cards are asking you to read them, not forever, not like, you know, the death card means rebirth kind of way, but instead, how do the cards want to be read right here, right now, in relationship to what you're asking? That's what makes tarot a language. That's what makes it such an infinitely peculiar and precise technology for creating omens. All right, after you've tried your hand at tableaus, another way, and this is one that I use almost exclusively now, is I just shuffle the cards continuously. I'm shifting them around in my hand, and then I'll get a spark as the client is talking to me about their life, their situation. I'll just get this spark and I'll pull a card and I'll put that down. And then we can stop there for a little while and we can kind of reflect this point in the client's story through the lens of that one card. If that card seems a bit mysterious, I might lay down 1 or 2 more just to let the cards kind of get a little bit more clarity for me. When you do this, you really, 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 really break free of the idea that you could be doing this wrong. A bonus tip is have more than one deck. Get 2 decks that are pretty significantly different in the way that they present the tarot images, and have the 2 decks talk to each other. And while they're doing that, you're like a fly on the wall, listening in and learning how to understand what they're saying to each other. All right, last but not least, our third way to fix your tarot is to find it all around you. go beyond the cards and see the universe talking to you at all times. I want to go back to something I said earlier in the video about how tarot is a technology for producing omens. The fact is, omens are always going on. If you look at ancient cuneiform texts about omens, of course, a lot of those are about the stars and are the basis for astrology. But they saw omens in a wide range of phenomena. Even lizards running across the table could mean something. Remember, the ancients didn't have technology to produce colorful, shiny cards, at least not that we know of. But they had a keen sense of omens. They heard the oracle in just about everything in their lives. You too can jailbreak omens from the deck of cards. So how does this work? Let's say you turn on the news and you see a burning building. Well, you just pulled the tower. You might not have had a question in your mind, so it can be a little quizzical about how to use that information. But maybe later on you are at home and the dog knocks over the trash can. Tower again. Something I might do at that point, go to my deck, pull out the tower card, put it down, and start throwing down other cards to figure out just what exactly is going on. Because obviously the tower is a very scary card. When we allow the tarot to not just exist on these pieces of paper, but instead to accompany us as an oracle, walking beside us, whispering into our ear all the time, we get access to some really, really deep magic. With that, I hope that these 3 tools will elevate your tarot practice, but most importantly, I want them to inspire you to remember that magic is not just the stuff that we do. It is a life way. It is a path that your feet are on all the time. There's nothing you need to do to get it right, so much as you just need to wake up to the fact that it's here. It's already here. It isn't scarce. God bless, take care, and I'll see you next time.